You were a normal 17-year-old going to UA High. You had a quirk, you had friends, a boyfriend, and being in a relationship means that you had to be mentally prepared for anything. This was implied tenfold, especially since you were dating someone as outspoken and destructive as Katsuki Bakugou. But nothing could have prepared you for the words that would have come out of his mouth. One day, after school, when the both of you were walking home together, "Oi, dumbass. Listen, my parents, they want to meet you." And with that sentence is how you ended up here. Standing outside of the Bakugou residence on a sunny, bright afternoon. You are anxiety-ridden. You knew a little bit about his parents. He sometimes complained about the, quote, old hag, referring to his mother, obviously. You'd seen her a few times when parents need to be driving around the school, and he was exactly like her. He was loud and scary, just like his mother. But his father always seemed to be different. He always seemed to be a little bit shy and quieter when you saw him standing by his loud, obnoxious wife. Your heart beats 100 miles per minute, and suddenly, you pipe up. On second thought, I think I'm just gonna go home, you announce, swiftly spinning on the back of your heel towards the opening of the Bakugou's parents' house, almost as if he knew. Bakugou quickly takes a hold of your shoulder and effortlessly turns your body so that you would be facing him. "It's too late now, idiot. You should have said something before we left your place," he grunts. "You'll be fine. Stop worrying, stupid." Katsuki slams his rough finger onto the doorbell, trying to alert his parents that he was here. Suddenly, the door slams open, a tall woman with her hands placed upon her hips in an assertive manner, which you would assume that's Bakugou's mother, for she adorned the same striking features as their son did, came upon her face. "Katsuki, what the hell did I tell you about pressing the... Her sentence was cut off by an audible gasp as her eyes found your form, slinking away behind Bakugou. "Oh my, move it, Katsuki," she says, easily shoving her son out the way. "Oi," he calls out, but she effortlessly ignores him. "Oh, Wyatt, it's so nice to meet you, finally," his mother says, slinging her delicate arms around you in an embrace. "I've heard so much about you." You blink a bit confused. You have? You look up at her with your big, youthful eyes. The woman was way nicer than you had originally thought she would be. "Wait, Katsuki was talking about you?" "No, she hasn't," your boyfriend was managed to gruff out. "Oh, yeah, I have." Katsuki's mother pulls away from you and studies your face with her bright scarlet eyes. "Katsuki gushes about you all the time," she cackles. You gawk at her, your eyes widen in shock and embarrassment. "He gushes about me." You look over at Katsuki, who is standing behind you, his arms crossed with an annoyed look on his face. He grumbles and looks away, trying to hide the redness in his cheeks. "Shut up, you old hag," he barks out. His voice was gruff and irritated, but you can detect the hint of embarrassment in his tone. "Oh, hush," she slaps the back of his head. Please, come in." She practically yanks you inside to see this shyer man, who you assume is his father. He smiles at you politely. The inside of the house was cozy and neat. It was adorned with pictures of a younger Katsuki. As you walk in, you can feel Katsuki's mother's hand on your back, gently guiding you towards the living room. "Have a seat, dear," Mitsuki says, gesturing towards the couch. You nod, feeling a mix of anxiety and intrigue. You can see Katsuki taking a seat in the plush armchair next to you. Suddenly your eyes land on a picture. Oh my god, it's that you?" I laugh, pointing to a picture of a chubby blonde baby in a bath. Mitsuki bursts into laughter as she follows her gaze. Yeah, that's our Katsuki when he was just a tiny baby. Cute, isn't he?" Katsuki, who's been quiet the whole time, suddenly bristles at the sight of the picture and mutters under his breath, "Shut up, you old hag." His father chuckles and pats his wife's shoulder. His eyes were gleaming with amusement. He was quite the handful, even back then. And Mitsuki nods in agreement, her grin widening. "Oh, you have no idea. He is a little terror, but I guess he still is." She playfully ruffles Katsuki's hair, causing him to swat her hand away. Bizaru, his father, starts to speak up. "Please, make yourself comfortable. Can I get you something to drink?" He chuckles. "Oh, no, it's okay." You look at the pictures more. You notice a few more where the Katsuki's hands start to spark. "When did he get his quirk?" you ask. He chuckles. "Oh, it was quite early. Maybe he was only 4 years old when his quirk manifested." Katsuki scoffs. "Yeah," crossing his arms and grumbling. "I was a prodigy from the start." Mitsuki rolls her eyes and chimes in. "I don't listen to him. He was just a little firecracker with explosive hands." The conversation continues, with Mitsuki and Masaru sharing stories about how Katsuki's childhood adventures. You can't help but notice how animated they are, especially Mitsuki, who seems to absolutely relish in embarrassing her one and only son. Katsuki huffs and mutters occasionally, trying to maintain his usual gruff demeanor. But you can see the twinge of embarrassment on his face. Katsuki pulls on your arm, indicating that it was time to leave. It had been a few hours. "Come on, I gotta head back before curfew," he grunts out, his tone not quite as harsh as it usually is. Mitsuki and Masaru wave goodbye, with Mitsuki calling out behind you. "It was so nice to meet you, YN. You're adorable. You're welcome back anytime," his mother all but shouts, as his father just waves silently beside her. On your way back to the dorms, Katsuki was uncharacteristically quiet. He walked a few steps ahead of you, and his hands stuffed deep into his pockets. Eventually, you decide to break the silence. "So, you talk about me to your parents?" You tease. You chuckle, enjoying the rare sight of a flustered Katsuki. His ears even tinted red. "It's okay, You can admit it." Katsuki looks at you, his expression a mix of annoyance and embarrassment. "Shut up," he grumbles, attempting to seem unbothered. "Aw, Katsuki, you're secretly a sweetheart," you tease, poking him in the arm. He scowls, but there's a slight hint of a smile playing at the corner of his lips. "Shut up, idiot," he barks back, his tone lacking its usual bite. Maybe this wasn't so bad. As he continued to walk, the air between the two of you started to become a bit thicker. The tension kind of randomly started to build. The sky above you changes color. It was transitioning from a pastel blue to more of a deep indigo, with the stars beginning to twinkle into the night sky. You two should probably hurry back. But like Katsuki could read your mind, he does the opposite. He slows his pace slightly, falling into the steps beside you. He gazes at you from the corner of his eye, a hint of pink creeping up onto his cheeks again. You can feel his hand brushing gently against your own as you walk, the warm contact sending a shiver down your spine. The silence between the two of you is almost thick. You could cut it with a knife as you both continue to walk. The distant sound of insects fill the air, and the cool breeze of the night caresses your skin, making you aware of everything around you. Katsuki glances at you. His expression was a bit unreadable in the dim light. His hand continues to graze against your own, and suddenly, he makes a bold move and intertwines your fingers with his. His grip was firm yet somewhat gentle. Your heart pounded in your chest as you feel the unexpected gesture. Katsuki's hands feel warm against your own, and you can feel the calluses on his palms from years of training and using his own quirk. He tugs on your hand slightly, pulling you towards an isolated park area nearby, where the trees were casting shadows among the grass, creating a secluded and intimate atmosphere. Katsuki halts his steps and turns to face you. His expression was intense in the dimly lit surroundings. The glow of the distant streetlights cast a soft, almost ambiance upon your guy's features, making him look even more striking than he usually did. He takes a step towards you, closing the gap between the two of you. His free hand begins to move up to cup your cheek. His thumb gently traces the contour of your face. Your breath hitches in your throat at his touch. Your senses heightened at the proximity and intimacy of the moment. The world around you seems to melt away, leaving only the two of you in your own little bubble. Katsuki's gaze locks upon your own, his scarlet eyes filled with a mixture of intensity and vulnerability. He leans in closer, his lips only inches away from your own. His breath is warm against your skin, sending a wave of heat coursing throughout your body. You can hear the faint sound of his own heartbeat, the erratic rhythm mirroring your own. You're a pain in the ass, you know that? Katsuki mutters out. His voice was low and gruff, yet tinged with a slight affection. And you're hot-headed and stubborn and idiot, you joke back, unable to keep the hint of a smile from curving onto your lips. Katsuki's grip tightens on your hand. Yeah, well, you're the one who chose to put up with me, he counters, pulling you even closer, smirk tugging his lips as well. His gaze roams your face, lingering on your lips. The tension between the two of you was electric, each small touch sending sparks of electricity down your spine. Your lips meet for the first time. The kiss was soft at first, as if Katsuki was just testing the waters. His tongue grazes gently against your bottom lip, a silent request for access, and you oblige. Parting your lip as the kiss deepens. His hand buries itself in your hair, angling your head to meet his perfectly, as if he tried to be as gentle as he explores his mouth. You can almost taste the hint of a spicy sweetness signature to Katsuki. Your mind is a tangled thought of emotions. All of them were centered around the way his lips feel against your own, the way his tongue moves against yours, the warmth of his breath and the roughness of his skin. It's all almost overwhelming, yet at the same time, the way his hand meets the nape of your neck and just puts the right amount of pressure, keeping you close. You just can't bear the thought of letting him go.